Sometimes life gives us lemons. Sometimes it gives us lemonade. Other times it gives us something entirely out of left field that makes us say, WTF. But no matter what obstacles come, there is most often a way out on the other side, and we are once again victorious. My name is Dr. Rowe, and you are listening to my podcast about resilience. Every guest shares a tragedy to triumph story to give listeners like you the inspiration to push through every single day. Listen now as my next guest shares how they were life-jacked.
What do you do when your life brings you to a new country and you find yourself on the fast track to learn everything, but with little support? My name is Dr. Rowe, and this is Life-Jacked, the Resilience Podcast. Life-Jacked is when an unfortunate or unplanned event happens to jack with your life. My guest for this week, Ilona Seddik, is a content marketing coach who helps coaches and service-based businesses on social media. She is a best-selling author because of her book, Kahokya, a Russian novel that was also on Amazon's international bestsellers list. She has been a guest on many talk shows and radio shows, sharing her gift of marketing on social media. However, despite her success, she has experienced challenges that caused her incredible pain. From being bullied as a child for being overweight to being in an abusive relationship. All of these challenges have made her stronger because she was able to find the strength to push through. Ilona will share how hard work and discipline has given her a life of fulfillment despite her challenges. And although pain is inevitable, she believes suffering is a choice. Hi, Ilona. Welcome. Thank you so much for being a guest on my show. How are you?
Hi, Dr. I'm very best feeling. Thank you so much for an amazing introduction. And even sometimes I hear how you introduce myself, and is it me? Like, wow.
No, well, you are truly amazing. And anyone that I have on the show is such a strong individual, and I feel very lucky for us to have this conversation.
Oh, me too. I'm so thankful. Resilience is a kind of part of my personality now, because at so many points in my life I had to be resilient to achieve anything in my life, starting from childhood. So yes, I definitely can be a valuable part of your podcast at this angle for sure.
Now, Ilona, you have had a few challenges starting from childhood. Can you share your traumatic experiences as a child?
Yeah, sure, because I do believe that anything starts with your childhood, and I found out that later on down the road, my domestic violence experience, that I'm domestic violence survivor, caused by bullying that I faced in my childhood, because I lived in the bigger body than any other child. In my territory where I lived in North Siberia. It was near the Arctic Pole. I was experienced very limited life circumstances, let's say, the poverty. I live in the deep village, surrounded by cold weather, definitely dangerous weather, let's say. So yeah, it started from my childhood that I faced, and I kind of adopted the idea that people can treat me like this. People can actually insult me. People can beat me. And the harsh part that teachers around me, you can say, well, what was going on? Where was the adults? They just say that they are playing. When they beat me up, they say, it's just a game, Ilona, relax. You need to follow along. Like, what's your problem? And from that point on, I get that the problem is in me, not in them. I am the problem.
Yeah, it's interesting that when we are victims, the people that are bullying us, they love to gaslight us, as a term that people use, meaning they flip things around, and although you are a victim, but they some kind of way either make light of your experience, as you said, they say, oh, I was just playing, it's just a joke, we're just play along with it. Or they make you feel like you're crazy and that what's happening to you is not really happening. So you definitely knew it was wrong. Did you ever want to fight back or do something about it or tell anyone?
Yes, definitely. Deep in my soul, I have this first. It started very early on at 5 years old. So I started to reach out to teachers, to adults that say something going on, something is wrong. They say, it's just a game, relax, it's just a game. Now I understand they do not want to be involved in any of this drama and kids, and it was so complicated. And I was very poor. My parents do not have any kind of authority that can support me otherwise. So for them it was very easy to gaslight me. Yes, you're absolutely right. And to say, it's okay, it's very normal, and you should be grateful that you have just these injuries and not something more traumatic.
Now, well, a lot of people come to the United States when they're children because they come as a result of their parents, but you came as an adult. What made you decide to come to the United States?
My kids came to the United States as children. I have 2 kids. They were 5 and 7 years old when they came to the United States. It was just 4 years ago, and it was very, on one hand, a simple decision and a hard decision at the same time. It was a job opportunity for my husband, and we decided that we need to pack our life within 3 months. We had no plans to move to the United States. It's not because we have some prejudice or we do not want to be here. I was raised in the in the American culture. Britney Spears, PSB, movie Beethoven, Home Alone. This is my childhood. I Love Lucy. This is my series that I watched through all my school years. This is what I grew up. And but I could not even imagine myself living in such fantastic country. It was something beyond absolutely my expectations, because from that experience that I reveal my bullying, I was never encouraged that I should dare for more, I should follow my dreams. I heard these words from American movies, simple as that. And when we had this opportunity, we just jump on it. And yes, it will be extremely hard. I had to leave everything in my country, my parents, my friends, relatives, my property, everything. Within 3 months, I turned my life upside down. Moreover, I had no education that focused on other countries. I mean, I have Russian education in law. I have a law degree in Russia, and I have a degree in Russian language and literature. So you see that there is no plan to move to the United States. But it happened, and I believe it's the best decision in my life. From that point on, I felt myself like I come to my home.
Now, it's interesting that you mentioned that you have been following American culture all through growing up on television, and you were kind of immersed into this, like you said, fantastical world, America, United States. And yes, we have this phrase that everyone is searching for the American dream. Right. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone saying, I'm looking for the Russian dream. You know, I've never heard that.
Yes, there's no, definitely there's no.
Right. And you find yourself immersed in this country as an adult, different language, even though, you know, you've heard English and you know, you're aware of it, you probably knew a few words. But the experience that you had, of course, was from television, which is, of course, not real. It's make-believe. What experience did you have, and what was it like you arrive to this country, it's the United States, and you find out it's not exactly like it was shown on television.
Oh my gosh, Dr. Roy, it was it was unbelievably hard. If I only knew that it would be so hard, I would never ever move to the United States. Because from surface, I was always said, what was the reason? What was where you find the courage? I always say that I'm a weirdo. I was crazy. I was all my life. I was the craziest one, black sheep in the family. This is type of decision that Ilona could make. Crazy. She's the crazy one. So no language, no one. Moreover, I saw the United States of America first time in my whole life, and I had to live here forever. Like, this is your home now. Do you like it or not? This is it. This is whole package. It was extremely risky, but something inside my soul, I just have a feeling, I didn't know it. I just feel that it's right. Feel in my gut that this is the right decision. I had no English. I started to talk in English and write in English 2 years ago. Before, zero English. Of course, as you said, small talk, maybe, grocery shopping conversation, I can support it somehow. But more than that, it's like, no, I cannot. Even it took me 2 weeks after I moved to the United States. It was Virginia, to go out. 2 weeks, I couldn't go out from the apartment. It was so hard for me mentally. It's like I see people. It's like the same people, but it's like feeling that you are landing on moon. It's like another universe. It's not another country. It's for me it's like another universe. Something like this.
I can imagine that was incredibly hard, because human beings, we are social and we communicate through language, and that's how we grow friendships, that's how we grow relationships. And although we love our families, right? We do love our families, yeah. Talking with them and being with them, but there's nothing like having other people that you can interact with and other people that you can speak with and form new relationships with and do things with other than people outside of your family. Oftentimes, did you feel alone, or did you ever think, am I going to ever make friends here?
Yes, absolutely. That thought crossed my mind. I have a desire to be a valuable part of the local community here in the United States. This was my goal. And to be a valuable part of the local community, I was very intentional. It's in wording that I would use to set my goal. So I thought I need to find those with whom I can interact. Okay, I do not know English enough to communicate, but I have wonderful Russian language. Okay, I can find Russian girls here and start from that. Find my girls, because from my childhood, from my youth, I find out that women are a safe place for me. Women community, the safest place on the planet Earth for me personally. So I try to find my girls. And from the first attempt, it was successful. I entered amazing community of Russian girls, and I started to develop relationships. And it was always was my intention, my first steps, my desire. I didn't wait for someone to come and rescue me and find that I'm amazing personality and I can be a very good friend. It was all my responsibility. I thought from the beginning, this is me entering new country. This is my job to be a valuable part of this country. It's not their job to see me. It's my job to be seen.
I love that you found your girls or your tribe or people who you can relate to. I love that, which brings me to my next question is, which you kind of already mentioned, how important is having a support system. And you already told us who is a part of your support system, but is there if there's anyone else you want to give a shout out to or a thank you that's always had your back, even though it's been a short time here being in the United States, but how important do you believe it is to have a support system?
It's extremely important. It doesn't matter whether you immigrate to move to another country or you live in your own neighborhood. Always to have this good communication, good relationships, even with neighbors. It's already to create for yourself safety, so they can look up for you and you can look up for their kids, their home. It's kind of security when you know people, when you build warm relationships with them. Of course, it's my neighbors. It's my support system growing and growing from just random Russian girls. I gather them. I created a community. I'm one of the co-founders of this community. We host masterminds for Russian-speaking girls that want to be seeing, social media, business, their career, to achieve their career goals, to be a good mom, family member. So what I start with just to find my support system turns out to be my job. And I found myself during the way that I actually enjoy connecting with girls and find my superpower that I actually can send message in the way that people hear me. I can help others to be seen and heard, meaning I help so many people through this, my ability. It's marketing. And only at that time it clicked when I really wanted to be part of the community here and found myself. It found me by itself.
I love that you have this community of women, but oftentimes women are accused of being catty or non-supportive of each other, either in friendship, sisterhood, or, at work. Like there can only be one female seat at the table, right? Especially in jobs that are male-dominated. One woman gets in and she's like, no, I'm going to be the only woman. I made it. Instead of, it seems like, not pulling other women along as well. So in your opinion, how can women best support each other?
We definitely need to start that with the thought that we are the empowerment of each other. We are the best nurturing system for strength of each other. And this competitive environment are created to make us weaker. So my very simple way, my very simple strategy is to make good at the arm's length. Meaning, if I can help women to achieve something, to be helpful, to be supportive, I will do it without any hesitation, because I do know how it's hard, it's painful in her shoes. I do felt it a long time ago or recently. It doesn't matter. I sincerely do not want her to go through these challenges, because I'm sure she will have a lot of challenges in her life. I can help her to overcome at least this one, because I'm familiar with this. I can give her advice. I can give her valuable connections, contacts from my network. And to really, when you give from your heart, every time it comes back from very unexpected way, from very beautiful way, only if it's right from your heart. And I do believe that this actually helps me to thrive and to find myself here after this crazy, traumatic, huge step in my life, as when I changed the continent.
Now, your book, Cahokia, what is it about, and how did you find the courage to write a book?
It's a great question. Thank you, Dr. Really, I needed the courage to write this book because it's purely connected and based on my own story as a domestic violence survivor. I when I moved to the United States, I didn't know language. I didn't have any degrees that connected or have relevant experience for the American market. And I had only my story of survival, my huge healing path. And I sincerely want to share this story because I know that not every single woman that faced domestic violence really survived, because in so many cases we are still victims in our mentality, in how we manage our life, or we even do not know that it is a violence. Because I faced, for example, I was sexually assaulted by my boyfriend, and when I coming up with this happened to me, I shared with my friends. They say, that I'm crazy. They said that I'm crazy. It's my job. It's my responsibility to make him, to give him sex, to please him. This is my job. I cannot complain. So I didn't have any validation. I didn't even understood that it's a violence. I felt it, but everybody said it's okay. So with this book, I wanted to really show how these terrible, abusive, toxic relationships unpack in actual life, and how it's extremely, extremely hard to get over it, to survive it, actually survive it. That is why I share it just from my heart, and this is what the course that I found. I want to help other women not to be in that terrible, terrifying pain that I went through.
Now, what does Cahokia mean?
It's a place in the United States of America, near the Mississippi River. It's ancient, as per legends, it's an ancient place where Native Americans lived, and there is nothing evidential left from that time. We have just a few things that we can consider that it was an ancient village or some community. So my novel, it's a fantasy novel. So Cahokia, it's not America, it's not Russia, it's not any country of the world. It's some fantasy world that these relationships unpack. Because I wanted to show this, it's not connected with the nationality, it's not connected with the language you speak. It's something much, much more deeper, rooted in ourselves, worldwide, that we need to deal with.
I love your focus on female empowerment and you finding your tribe after coming to the United States and finding that source of strength within your tribe to, push through the challenges that you have experienced. And it's amazing that you were able to write a book in a language that's not natively yours. It's just truly remarkable. It's truly remarkable.
Thank you.
Now, you have a law degree and another degree in Russian language and worldwide literature. And now you teach entrepreneurs how to market their content on social media. How did this come about?
I do feel the curiosity here because it's an unexpected decision, as all decisions in my life. I believe from surface that is why I'm a weirdo completely for other people. But it's actually how it's beautifully combined. This is my systematic thinking, and I'm a very logical person, law degree, nurture this part. I'm a PhD in Russian law, so I'm very scientific. I want to dig in details, and I love language. I enjoy language, and I believe if you know deeply one language, you can investigate, you can learn another language at the same level, because you know the level, it's set it already, how you can actually understand the other language and be deep and rooted in the language, the beauty of the language. I really admire this, our magnificent tool, how we can communicate with each other. And my way to learn English, it's absolutely self-learned, self-guided way. So when I release my novel, Cahokia, I start to think how I can actually reach people. No publishing houses knocking on my door. Okay, I need to do it by myself. How people actually do this stuff. I didn't know at that point anything. Okay, social media. Oh, they do it on social media. So how I can manage it? So I start to this self-learning, educational way, how I can actually be heard and seen on social media. Starting from free courses, then I ended up a very sophisticated one. So along the way, my girls saw this, that I'm really successful in this, and they say, can you help me with my course? Okay, it's not a book, but I do feel that you are really passionate about it. You have some abilities here. I feel it. Can you help me? And again, it found me itself. I'm not searching for this. It's like I find it during my way here. Content marketing, it's a beautiful tool how you actually be seen and be visible on social media, and it's all about helping others. For me, it's about helping others. Social media in my life played a huge role. It actually helps me to connect with the world, know everything that I know now, learn English. Like, it's absolutely beautiful tool if you know how to use it.
Do you believe that a business can survive in this day and time without being on social media?
Yes, actually, you can survive if we talk about survival mode. Word of mouth. Nobody cancel this way of marketing this way of communication with the world. That's how you can find clients. But you can never really scale your business on the bigger level. If you really want to achieve great goals in your life, help a lot of people, and really be impactful to the world, without social media, you cannot do this. You cannot do this otherwise, because social media now, it's not like before, like internet thing. We can live our life without social media. No, social media, it's like you breathe in, breathe out. I know a lot of people then when they wake up, it's the first thing that they will do, and they go to social media and check out what is going on, what is new, what the people talking about. I mean, it's part of our life, especially after pandemic time. It's actually absolutely natural part of our life. And see how our kids operate now. They live on social media. They cannot imagine their life without YouTube Kids. We all start from there. YouTube Kids, simple as that. They know, and they nurtured by social media since their early childhood. So it's a part of our life now. And to be there or not to be there, it's not the choice already. It's like it's necessity. You can survive, yes, you can. If survival mode, it's your goal. But if you really want to help others and scale, you need to be there.
Well, I can't agree with you that our children are exposed to social media, especially YouTube Kids, because my youngest is on YouTube Kids probably almost every day. And if I would allow him to, he probably would be on it all day, for sure.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, what are 3 tips you can share with the listeners in case there are entrepreneurs who are listening or people who want to be influencers through social media? But what can you share with the listeners about marketing on social media? I don't want you to give away all of your knowledge, but
yeah, absolutely. The first thing, it's know yourself. Get a clarity about yourself, what you're capable of, what you want to suggest to this world, what you're actually good at, and what you actually enjoy sharing. If we talk about business owners or influencers, it's some part of your life, some part of your journey, some part of your expertise that you actually enjoy delivering to the social media. Second thing, you need to know your audience. I know everybody told you about it, that it's very important, that it's very crucial. Let me explain. Social media, it's all about dialogue. It's how I want to connect to the world, how I want to communicate with others, because the first and foremost goal of all social media is connect you to other people that interested in the same thing as you are. If you like fitness, they connected you to those who really find the joy in their fitness journey, or it could be anything. So if you do not know people with whom you communicate, how you actually can deliver this expertise, these good things to them, it's unbelievably hard. So know your audience. It's like you come to your friends and you start to talk with them, but you actually know this person. You find out something beforehand about him or her to start this conversation or job interview or whatever, anything. You start to research ahead to really have a fruitful, good, joyful conversation. So know your audience. And the third big step, do not be afraid to be yourself, to be weirdo, to be unpopular, opinionated person, to be anything and everything you want, to share your story. It doesn't matter how ugly, messy, or unpleasant it is. This is how we actually found each other, through our stories, through our authenticity, through our uniqueness. And do not ever hold back who you are. This is the most crucial part. This actually where the magic happens, where you, with all your passion in your heart, knowing those people who host this phone, you actually connect with them through your stories, through something that is valuable for you. So if you follow these huge 3 steps, it will be absolutely beautiful journey, I promise.
Well, thank you so much for those tips. And I know as a person who markets on social media for, of course, my podcast or my resilience coaching or my website and my courses that I have, sometimes it is incredibly hard to put yourself out there because sometimes, you don't get the likes or the comments. But one thing I know that someone told me is even if you don't get the likes, even if you don't get the comments, just keep going because people are watching you. People definitely are. And one day, that one post or that one episode that you publish will be the one that will take you far.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And nowadays, it doesn't matter the numbers. I mean, do not pay attention number of your followers, subscribers, views, likes. It doesn't matter. Matter the most that you connect with those who are really interested in you. They do have the same interests. This is the most important part, not the numbers itself. How you feel about this connection. And in most of the cases, unfortunately, people will throw garbage at you quicker than words of appreciation or some pleasant things. So don't be focused on those negativity or those low numbers for you. Please remember about actually people who need your advice, who need your support and knowledge, expertise. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of them. Don't hold back because you see low numbers. You need to keep going. Beauty is in the way.
I love that. Keep going. And in order to keep going, you have to have an incredible amount of resilience. In your opinion, what are the best ways to build resilience?
It's a very deep and interesting question, Dr. Ra. From my experience, I can suggest anything just from only and purely from my experience. It's to talk with yourself in the harsh and very difficult situations in your life as you talk with your dear friend. Imagine that something that you face now, very terrible, unpleasant, and uncomfortable to say the least, happened with your friend. First, you want to give her or him or them advice. If you do not know what to do, you just support them. Even if you didn't find the right words to support them, you just be around. Even your presence can support and help them. So be that friend for yourself. And as you merciful, as if you kind to yourself, you can actually overcome these traumatic experience in your life, because it's when you are inside the situation, and I faced so many times in my life, during my divorce, during my sexual assault, domestic violence survival experience, it's so messy, it's so hard, it's so painful inside. But when you have this kindness to yourself, you can actually overcome. It's not to be Wonder Woman, just to overcome, to achieve superhero mode. No way. Be present for yourself. Feel the pain. You can get over it.
Wow, Ilona, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you. Can you do me a favor and let everyone know how they can get a copy of your book, Cahokia, or contact you if they are interested in coaching for social media marketing?
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Ro. I really, really enjoyed the conversation, and it opened up for me, thanks to your question, opened up so many things inside my story. I always reflecting. And yes, it's on all social media. The most known one, it's my name, Ilona Seddik, in one line. No thoughts, no dots in between. And I'm happy to connect with you whenever you find it comfortable, and you can start from there. You can start to really see me, different angles of my personality. I warn you that I can be in a week, very pink week, can be very serious, can be very joyful or sad. I mean, it's all me. So be ready to face me in very different ways.
Love it. Any last words of encouragement for the listeners?
Yes, of course. I do not want to be so cheesy and stereotypical one, but everybody would say to you, be yourself. But it's actually the secret ingredient of your success. I've never ever seen in my life, in my career, that anybody who copied others people succeeded. Only you, your uniqueness, your way of life, how you see things, can actually help you to be successful. On social media, for sure, and I can even go step out of this, my specialty and my field. It's actually that leads you to the magical and happiest moments in your life, because at so many points in my life, I chose myself. I chose my weird, illogical, crazy decisions as people saw them. But for me, it was the right decisions. For me, for my way, it was very, very right. I felt it. When you feel it, go for it.
Well, Ilona, I wish you and your family nothing but blessings and abundance. Thank you so much for being a guest on my show. Once again, please take care.
Thank you so much, and thank you for listening my story, and you provide a very safe and warm space to make it happen. Thank you so much.
You have just listened to Life Jacked, the Resilience Podcast with your host, Dr. Ro. Subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Spotify, and any other podcast streaming platform. Remember to live, laugh, love, learn, and then repeat. See you in the next episode.